Hey guys, it's Lacey from Earthbrood Emporium, and we had a couple of questions about whether or not we use Keiki cloning paste on our aroids. So the question was particularly about our pink princesses. So I'm using the two that I have here as an example because they have new growth and you can see really well the stages of Keiki growth. So before we start, this is the Keiki paste that I use. This was super cheap on Amazon. I lucked into finding it. I'm not an affiliated salesperson. I don't get any commissions. I don't make any money. This is just the brand that I've used. I have not used any other brands. I've got about 99% success rate with this Keiki paste. So here on the left, we have Guinevere. I cut Guinevere because I'm really trying to encourage this really nice light pink coloration. She had a lot of really, really dark pink, so I wanted to try and isolate that. So while her darker leaf cuttings are rooting, then I'm trying to encourage this really nice light pink variegation. So I cut her. I cut about 13 or so inches off, and what I did was I took my Keiki paste. I read all of my instructions. Always follow your manufacturer's instructions. I'm not a professional by any means, so make sure that you follow your directions. I keep Q-tips in my box, which you can't really see. Just that way everything is handy dandy and ready to go. The paste is thick, so really a very small amount goes a pretty long way. It's a pretty small little container. Try to open it here. Sorry about that. But you can see, I mean, there's really not even a lot missing out of that container. And I've had this for probably over a year now. So I use the Q-tips to make sure that my media that I'm spreading my Keiki paste with is clean and sterile. You can kind of spray it with rubbing alcohol first, swoop it in here, and then I'll show you how I apply the Keiki paste that I've had the best luck with. So once again, this is just my opinion. This is just what has worked for me. I'm not a plant professional. I'm not a Keiki paste professional by any means. So make sure you do your own research and your own experiments because that's how you're going to learn. So what I did is I took this existing sheath. So let me see if I can turn on flash and if that will help at all. Kind of. So a leaf sheath is this papery membrane that you find on the bottom of a sheath. Philodendron especially have really great sheaths. Pothos don't have leaf sheaths. So if you remember in our pothos versus philodendron video, which you can find if you subscribe to our videos, philodendron all have leaf sheaths. So I'm going to show you where I apply the Keiki paste. So I take this leaf sheath, okay, right here, and I very gently put my Q-tip into my Keiki paste. I take it out and I put the Keiki paste into an existing leaf sheath. So it takes a couple of months, I would say, before you see any kind of activation. So here is my cut point. That's where I cut it. I let it callus over before I applied anything to it. And then I put the Keiki paste down inside the sheath and you can see my new activated growth point. So eventually that will be a very, very small leaf. Over here is one that I did earlier in the summer. So she has a little bit more growth to show you. So here is an original leaf and you can see off of her stem here, she doesn't have any new growth, okay? But here is another original leaf, and you can see I trim all my leaves if you have any questions about why I trim my leaves, which helps them root faster, specifically philodendron and other aroids. Cutting your leaf takes the energy out of trying to keep a leaf nice and healthy, and it basically just lets your plant feed itself and forces it into to produce roots. So this is an original leaf. You can see if you follow this sheath down, or I'm sorry, the stem down, you can find our leaf sheath and you can see where our new growth point is. So here is the cut point on her. So it was cut here, I let it callus over, and then I applied the Keiki paste into the leaf sheath. From that leaf sheath, I got this new growth point. So this is a new leaf. This is a new leaf. She's still working on unfolding. And then we have another one coming out here. So all of this new growth point was from this one leaf sheath. I also went on the other side of my cut and I put Keiki paste down inside an existing leaf sheath, which is this one here. So I put my Q-tip down inside the leaf sheath. It was already existing, which is this one here in the back. And from that, we got this new growth point. Okay, so this little leaf, this one, and then this new one. Now, you don't want to use keiki paste on anything that doesn't have established roots. The reason is it's going to push all of that plant's energy into producing leaves. And leaves are great and they're fabulous, but they will not keep your plant alive. You need roots. So make sure that you root your cutting first before you apply any of the keiki. And then you can put it down inside of a sheath. And I always go for coloration. So I've done this a couple of different times, and I always look for the stems that have good coloration depending on your plant. So Pink Princess, we know it's all about the stems and finding colorants that you want to continue and applying the keiki where you should to help encourage that new growth. Like I said, it does take a couple of months probably before you see a little bit of growth. This probably was cut, I don't know, 2 months ago. I let it callus for about a week, and then I applied the keiki. So hopefully we see a new growth point down inside this new sheath that I just keikied very soon as well. This works on orchids, of course, because that's what this is meant for, but it also works on aroids. I have put some on some of my different types of syngonium, which I have over here, and I have had luck with that. On my elbow syngonium here, I put some keiki paste down in the existing sheath down here, and it spit off this new growth point, which gave me a half moon. So I'm still experimenting with the syngoniums and how I can keiki paste and help those, encourage the growth on those. So when we see the growth and see what's happening, then I will definitely update. But that is how you keiki paste aroids. Super simple, guys. Happy planting.